Yo, yo. Come on in, man. Come on in. Let's have some fun. I got to give a shout out to my big bro, man. He told me he was going to be waiting for this. This the
Shout out.
OG right here, my boy Big John, man. Shout out to Big John, man.
Yes,
One of
sir.
your biggest fans, man.
Oh,
Tell
come
you.
on. Come on,
He
Big John.
called me to talk football. But
I hear that.
now come on in, man. Let's have some fun with Todd, man. Let's have some fun.
Yes,
Talk some
indeed.
Falcons football, man. Chris, you know what to do, man.
Hey, man. Yeah, like Smitty said, y'all come on in. It is Wednesday night. Not our normal night that we do it, but we have a special guest, so we'll make the accommodations. You know what I'm saying, for a Falcons Ring of Honor legend like Todd McClure, somebody that's been in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? You got to be pretty tough to be in the trenches. So we're going to get thoughts today and just about everything that's been going on around with the Atlanta Falcons. And, love to get his insight, somebody that's also still close with the team as well. So can't wait, man. Y'all make sure y'all come on in. Y'all not going to want to miss it.
And y'all
I'm
know
ready,
what?
man.
We get to talk offensive line today. And, boy,
It
I
might put
already
some
gave
people to
y'all.
sleep.
Hey, I don't care. I'm going to talk till I fall asleep. But, look, man, it's been a great start to the offseason so far, man. I absolutely love what's been going on. Your former teammate Matt Ryan is named president of football, and honestly, I actually love the move because he's younger. He's a young talent. He's intelligent, leadership skills, and he's just a great analyst when it studies analytics. So when you talk about that, I think he was perfect for the job. But
I do too.
Go ahead. I was going to ask what your reactions were, but you beat me to it.
Yeah, I was ecstatic when I heard that they were mentioning Matt's name. He's a guy that prepared unlike anybody else that I ever played with. There was no stone unturned. The amount of film that he watched, the IQ that he had of football. He didn't just know his spot. He knew where everybody else on the field was supposed to be and what they were supposed to do. And that didn't happen later on in his career. That happened early. Had a great grasp of it. So, and he's a guy that's diehard, that still lives in the city, that's going to do everything in his capability to put the best people in place to go in this drought, man. It's been 8 years. It's been too long since we've been in the playoffs, since we've really been relevant. And I'm down here in Saints country, so I've been feeling it pretty hard, man. So, I love seeing it all come together. You're always going to have skeptics and people talking about who you hire and why you're doing this. But, Matt believes in his guys, and he's going to go put the best guys in place to give this franchise an opportunity to go compete.
Indeed.
About, man.
Let's stay right there with Matt Ryan. And I wanted to know, how do you think his quarterback perspective will impact the roster building and offensive philosophy?
Man, I think it's huge. You hear people talk about, and I know this because, I played 14 years. You build your roster from up the middle. You got to be good in the middle, whether it's that middle linebacker that communicates with everybody on defense, the center, the quarterback, and then it branches out from there. His knowledge, he's been around, some of the great minds, not only in his playing career, but during his time in CBS. So he's seen perspectives from all over. He's got a lot of people that he can lean on. And I don't think, he's going to be a guy that's going to try to put his thumb on anything. But I also think the coaching staff is going to want to hear his perspective and get some insight from him. Why wouldn't you? He's a guy, in my opinion, that'll be in the Hall of Fame one day. And he knows how the game's supposed to play.
Facts. And we talk about, I talked about, his leadership skills, and you talked about building your team down from the center up. I might as well just going to start with free agent targets, and one been on my mind for a while. Shout out to Berto, shout out to Kev. They first brought it to light, but the more I looked at it, the more I thought about it. The center position. You remember in 2016 when Alex Max came over in the trade for Cleveland. I think that was one of the better moves in Falcons history as far as free agents. You talk about Mike Turner, you talk about those kind of moves, Tony Gonzalez trade. But Tyler Linderbaum. What would you think about that trade? Could that be Alex Mack 2.0 type trade?
I think what's going to be interesting. Yes, he's a great player, and he'd be good for any franchise. Um, I think what's going to be interesting, and you guys know this as well as me, what this offensive needs. You got Bijan, you got Drake on the outside. We need a true deep threat. So you got to go get that weapon. I think. Our quarterback situation, we got to decide which way we're going there. And then after
That's
that,
tough.
I think we're really young. We're really athletic on the O line. Other than Matthews, and he's a stud. He had a few plays here and there, but his knowledge and his understanding of the game is unreal. So it's going to be interesting. And then with Kyle Pitts, what do you do there? Because he's a guy that I think he will impact the game also. So Matt Ryan's gonna have some sleepless nights. He's got a lot of decisions to make.
Okay.
Yeah.
Arthur
Okay.
Blank. Arthur Blank situation in Atlanta. The way he was talking about the way they're gonna, approach things differently. Do you think that it started already the way they're doing things right now, approaching things different, and how is that evolving so far?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of, you look around the league and you see some guys that have had success. You look at Lynch out there in San Francisco, um, other guys that have played the game. And he's not a front office, but like Dan Campbell in Detroit, really impressed with what they've done in there and just the type of grit he's put into that program. So Mr. Blank, he obviously knew that something needed to change. And I think sometimes, like in any business or any organization, things get stale and you feel like you just got to keep doing the same thing that everybody else is doing. And I think this was a hire that Mr. Blank thought outside the box, wanted to change the mojo, change the energy. We got to change something because, the
Facts.
past 8 years, it hadn't worked. And, I think this team that we have, and I think that's one of the things that Matt's so excited about, this team's not far off,
Agreed.
you look at it, a couple of overtime games, a couple of plays here and there, we're in the playoffs, so this team's not far off. We got to make some key moves here and there, but we got the nuts and bolts of what it takes to be successful already in that building.
Okay. I got to go back to Matt Ryan for a second because, and this is a different question, so just bear with me. But all right, so everything is not always going to go right. And I know you've been in the trenches with Matt when things aren't going right. Can you talk about the type of leader and the way that he handles adversity and what he probably, so how can he possibly, things not going right with the Atlanta Falcons? Like, how do you think he will be able to pivot that and be able to handle that?
One of the things that always impressed me about Matt during his playing career, and I was on one of the radio shows there in Atlanta this week talking about it. It was with Brian Finnerman. The thing about Matt, he was the type of guy that brought the energy when things were going great on the sideline. The thing I respect about him the most is he knew when he could get on guys and get them going, but he never demeaned you on the sideline. When things weren't going good, he was always uplifting, and you never saw it on his face. He never showed when he was down on himself, when he was down on a teammate. It was just even keel for Matt. His press conferences were always great after tough losses, and he's a guy that is going to grind. And I think the fear of failure, much like myself, the fear of failure motivates him. So he's going to do everything in his possibility to go run this organization and make the city proud.
Agreed. One of his first moves, hire a coach, Kevin Stefanski. A lot of people were skeptic about it, and once I did the research and I looked all the way back to his Minnesota days to when he started with Brett Favre, Adrian Peterson, and those guys all the way up to now. If you look at the move, I think it was the smart move because I feel like we needed somebody that can coach quarterbacks. And that was the main reason why we went after a guy like this, because you got to put Michael Penix in the equation.
Right.
But what do you feel like was the biggest, as I'm saying, biggest reason why they chose Stefanski over other candidates?
You know, when you look at it, and this is just my perspective, just the way I've looked at it, I don't think Harbaugh was ever really truly a thought. Great
Agreed.
coach. Run a great program with the Ravens. They won a lot of football games. But you see in New York, he wanted it to be his program. He wanted to be the guy that answered to the owner. And I think that was one of the things that Mr. Blank's trying to change. He wants to do things a little bit differently. And I respect Harbaugh and the way he's going about it, but that I don't think that was the type of guy we were looking for at this time. So then you look at the
Agreed.
other candidates that are out there. And to me, it was always between Kubiak in Seattle and Stefanski. So I think at this time they had to think about they needed somebody with head coaching experience. You go get Kubiak in Seattle. He's just been an OC, quarterback coach, doesn't have that head coaching experience. And when you have a roster that's so close, you need a guy that's been tested. He's been through those battles. He knows how to manage the game. And I think Kevin Stefanski, he's been through the fire. He's been tested up there in Cleveland, but he's also had success. And like you talked about, one of the most crucial points of our team right now is the quarterback position and developing Michael Penix. And you got time to do that because he's still on his rookie contract. So it's going to be interesting to see his growth once he gets healthy. And I think we're making all the right moves. I know we're going to get to it probably, Coach Callahan, the hire on the offensive line. Anxious to see who the GM's going to be, So
now, and of course, I mean, I hate that we have to talk about it, but it's out there. So it's everything that's surrounding around Coach Stefanski and everything, and it's some fans, they're kind of feeding into it. What do you think Coach Stefanski has to come in here besides winning? What does he have to come in here and do to actually win over the fans, you think?
It's Atlanta, and Matt's talked about it. Atlanta's a city that will get behind you like no other when they respect you. I've been a little disappointed with some of the Falcons fans over the past couple of weeks, just things I've seen, I don't think in any way this hire, and I want to be careful here because I love my fans.
Right.
I don't think this hire was anything other than what puts the 2026 Atlanta Falcons, what gives them the best chance to go win football games and make the playoffs. It has nothing to do with Dion and with Shador. I love both of those guys, love watching them play. Those two guys aren't going to help us win a football game next year. They're great players, great competitors. And I think this thing kind of took a turn with some of our fans, and it shouldn't be about that, And I know fans are a little bit leery because we haven't had success lately, and I understand it. Look, me, a guy that's played in this organization, I question things at times that have gone on. But I think at this point, we got to rally behind our quarterback, Matt Ryan, or my quarterback, our quarterback. We got to get behind Stefanski. We got to give him time. We got to give him trust and let him go. He's got to go prove it. This whole organization has to go prove it, and they know that. And we just got to get behind them.
Absolute facts. And speaking of coaching staff, let's keep it. You talked about Bill Callahan. A lot of people were, kind of a little frustrated that Dwayne left, is going to move on, and I get it because he's done a great job in Atlanta. But you being an offensive lineman, knowing schemes and things of that nature, what is the difference in their coaching styles and what should Falcon fans expect?
He's done a great job with this O-line. I've been really happy over the past few years what he's done with those guys because they have been really good. I think when you get a new coach in, you got to come in and you got to change the mojo. You got to have coaches on your staff that may not question what you're doing, and I've been around and I've been on staffs where You keep a guy around and they're questioning the new guy. Why is he doing it like this? Why is he doing it like that? This is the way we used to do it. And you just don't have time for any of that. He's a great coach, and whoever hires him is going to get a great offensive line coach.
Absolutely.
But I feel like Coach Stefanski's got his guy now with Callahan. He's a guy that's been around the league 24, 25 years.
Yep.
He's been a head guy. He's been to the Super Bowl. He's been on some teams that have had a lot of success. He's been on some teams that have failed. So he's been around a lot of situations. I called my buddy Alan Faneca, who's in the Hall of Fame, was a long time
New York
Pittsburgh
Jets.
Steeler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Played with the Jets, Cardinals. Well, he was in New York with Coach Callahan. So I called him. I'm like, man, what are your thoughts on Coach Callahan? He said, Todd, he's wasted his mind. He said he should have been a CEO of a major corporation. He said he's extremely smart. He said those guys are going to work during individual period, like really work. He's not going. He's going to make sure his guys are ready. He's been around. He's run zone schemes. He's been around some other power schemes. He's a guy. Allen said that if something's not going right within that coaching staff, or if he's got a player that's not doing the right thing, he's not afraid to step up, and he's not afraid to step on toes and tell people around him in that organization this is how it's got to be done. And a guy that I played for that was just like that was Alex Gibbs. Alex Gibbs.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
He coached the offensive line, but he coached the running backs, the tight ends, the quarterback. He coached everybody, and everybody respected and listened to him. We all hated him at times, but he was great. We went out and had some great teams.
Yes, man. Okay, I gotta ask. All right, now, just because there is already talk about possibly a shift in the offensive line, but I want to know, especially in today's NFL, in your thoughts, how important is cohesion up front versus just collecting talent?
Yeah, that's huge. I think some of the best lines I played on weren't the most talented lines. Didn't have the highest draft picks, but we were close, man. We knew each other on and off the field, and and that's the biggest thing. Bringing a coach in, you got to learn that combo block. You got to know what those guys are doing next to you, and you got to be able to do it with your eyes closed. So you don't have to have the most talented guys. You have to have guys that are committed to the game, committed to their craft, and that are going out there to play not for themselves, for a contract. They're going out there to play for the guy beside them. And I think back to the line I had with Sam Baker, Harvey Dahl, Justin Blaylock, Tyson Clabo. We were a close group that would do anything for each other. And, that's how it's got to be. Now, you can win with talent. You can go load up with talent. But it doesn't necessarily have to be the most talented guys to have a unit that's really successful.
Agreed. You talked about Jake Matthews. You talk about Matthew Bergeron. Chris Lindstrom, one of the best linemen in the NFL. McGary's coming back from an injury. Where would you rate this offensive line now that they got Bill Callahan? Is it going to step up to elite level? Or because I saw you say on Twitter that you think they're going to have the best rushing attack in the NFL next year.
I truly do. I believe that. Because there were some things we did the past couple of years that had me scratching my head. It just, I don't know. The scheme, it seemed at times too complicated for Penix and for Kirk Cousins. Kirk's a brainiac, and he looked confused at times with our scheme, with motions, and we were snapping the ball and it was hitting tight ends. It seemed like it was too difficult for those guys. And I'm excited when you come in with Stefanski and then Reese, his offensive coordinator, Callahan, all those guys are going to be speaking the same language. They've all coached together, and I say they all. I'm not sure if Reese and Callahan have. I think they did in Cleveland, but they're going to all be on the same page. Everybody's going to be on the same page, and I think, once you get going, it'll be a well-oiled machine. And we got some talent up front, man. I love watching those guys play. I feel like at right tackle at times this year, we were hurt there. So we had too many pre-snap penalties, things that killed us in drives, and we'll be better there. But I think if this group can stay healthy, if Seven can stay healthy, if we can get a great scheme, it's going to be a fun year. We know what our defense is going to do. Those guys look really good at times this year with a bunch of young guys over there. They're going to be a fun group to watch. And imagine that dome, or the Mercedes. I'm calling it the Dome because I played in the Georgia Dome. But
it's the Dome.
If you get it rocking with that playoff atmosphere, and you got those guys coming off the edge, man, it'd be like John Abraham all over again. They couldn't block him when that dome gets loud. And that's that feeling that I want back in Mercedes-Benz for my Atlanta Falcons.
Shout out to our guy Abe. Support of the show.
Yes. But now we talked about the run game, just overall with the success of the offense. You have Kevin Stefanski. You do have Bill Callahan. Those guys have had success in Cleveland before. And I'm just imagining how it could be for guys like Drake London, just within this offense. Like, what does success look by the end of the season if all the hires hit their mark?
Yeah, man, that's it. I think it could be huge. And I think the biggest thing, you hear guys talk about it all the time, for an offense to have success, your running game's got to be good. And I think what Coach Stefanski, what Reese, what those guys do, what they like to do, they run first. And if you get the running game going, then your play actions, what they like to do a little bit of some bootlegs, all that stuff just opens up. It makes it easier for receivers to get open, because then you have safeties coming downhill and you got guys thinking, all right, we got to get in the box to go stop this running game. And then you hit them over the head. So it all goes to the running game. If we can get that going, the play action and everything, and then take your shots. Like we talked about, you do have to go get a deep threat. I think everybody knows that, a true deep threat. And if you have that deep threat, you have the running back like we got, the guys up front. You got to have a good tight end. So it'll be interesting to see what we do there. I think it could be really good, and it could be a really fun few years for Falcons fans.
Good points.
I'm telling you.
We talk about the leader on the field. We talked about Matt Ryan, his leadership skills. And I know that's what they'll be looking for in the quarterback, somebody that can lead, that can put the team on their shoulders when they need to, situational plays. We don't know what's going to happen with Kurt. Could come back, could be cut. Michael Penix could miss half the season, if not all the season, depending on how rehabilitation is going. Is there a quarterback out there specifically that fits this offense that they could look at to bring in as a bridge guy that you think can come in and carry this team?
Man, the first thought that pops in my mind, our first name is Mac Jones. Look at you. What is that? What you think?
We've been saying Mac Jones on the show.
Oh, boy.
Man,
I just put out a video right before you came on about Mac Jones.
Come on, you got to be kidding. But I think if you look at this year and you saw, that's the NFL. That's, people think about, you look at Sam Darnold. He went through struggles, wasn't necessarily the right schemes for him. And then he gets to Seattle, and that dude can't be stopped. The same can be said about D-Led's boy, Baker Mayfield. He was in Cleveland. Y'all better quit. He was in Cleveland. Things didn't go great. He went to Carolina. They traded him to Los Angeles. He went and had one good game. Gets a contract with Tampa. Baker's playing some unbelievable football right now, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
I agree.
So I think a guy like Mac Jones that showed he can go carry a team. He carried San Francisco, and got them to the playoffs. I think he would be a huge get if we decide that it's time to move on from Kurt and go free up some cap space, or possibly get some draft picks if somebody's interested in trading for it.
Chris, before you go, let me throw in this question right quick.
Go ahead.
Because he's an LSU Tigers guy.
Oh
So
yeah.
you know where I'm going with that quarterback question.
Mm,
What's your thoughts on his what he could do at the next level? I'll just put it like that. Uh is he a
No, you're
day two,
talking
day three guy?
about
Nussmeyer.
Nussmeyer or
Yes,
Nussmeyer? Yeah, I
yes.
think Nussmeyer had a rough go this year. He was dealing. To answer your question, he can be a quarterback at the next level. I don't know. I can't say 100% that he's going to be a starter or a franchise guy, but he can definitely play the game at the NFL level. He's the type of gunslinger. He reminded me a little bit of, and I know this is a big step, but Brett Favre. You know, he had that same mentality where he thought he could make every throw. Um, I think one
Yeah,
of the things that he didn't do great, and I think you have to do, you at least have to be decent at it to be successful at quarterback. You got to be able to run every now and then. You know, when things aren't open down the field. Nussmeyer may try to force throws when he could have ran and picked up 5, 10 yards, picked up a first down. So he's got to get better there. But his mentally, competitive wise, he's a guy he's going to get drafted. I would say middle of the rounds, and he's going to be on somebody's roster. And you may look up in 4, 5, 6 years, and he may be a starter for a franchise, but he's going to have to go out and prove it.
I could see
right,
that.
right,
Go ahead,
absolutely.
Chris.
Okay, so as far as with the offense and bringing in over Callahan, of course, having Stefanski, we've already talked about this previous success, but just within the run game, can you see us, especially with questions at the quarterback position? We still don't know who's going to be under center. Can you see the Falcons possibly prioritizing the run game and trying to make sure that they have the trenches, the protection, and everything together to make sure that Bijan is able to pop off those big runs, similar to how we saw him toward the end of the season?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you bring in Coach Callahan and that running game is going to be a priority. He's going to make sure. I mean, we already can run the ball. We ran the ball with a lot of success this year. Um, and we just put ourselves in some bad spots at times, but we got a strong foundation to build off of. And like I said earlier, the scheme I thought didn't accentuate what we did best at times with the players we have, and I'm excited because Matt knows the guys that we have and the type of offense that we need to come in to let them excel. And I think that's why he went and hired Stefanski. That's why he went and hired Callahan and then Reese. I'm excited, man. I'm ready for the first OTAs so we can see a glimpse of what this offense is going to look like, and then preseason. But we have a lot of decisions to make between now and the start of the season, and I hope we make the right ones.
Man, I'm talking about optimism is everything, and
That's
that's
right.
what we've been telling our Falcons fans. Like, we have to be optimistic about the moves, especially like when you think about it. When Matt Ryan was hired, everyone loved the move, right? At least we can at least agree and say at least 80% of the fan base enjoyed it.
Right.
So now that he has the job, we have to keep faith and be optimistic in the moves and just let him work. Let him cook.
Yeah, I agree with you, man, because you watch people, as soon as they announced Matt's hire, everybody was all excited. And then he goes and hires a head coach, and they start doubting already. After yesterday, they said, have faith in Matt. And now you don't have faith in him, you just got to trust it. He's I promise you, he's not going out there throwing darts at the dartboard. And all right, it landed on Stefanski, so that's who I'm gonna pick. He's doing his research, and he's got a group around him. And I guarantee you, he can pick up the phone, like he talked about. Call Bill Cowher, call different people that have been around the NFL that have been successful, and they're going to lead him in the right direction. They're not going to tell him things that they think he just wants to hear. They're going to tell him who they think he needs to hire to go be successful.
Hey, you don't get no better than that. Speaking of hiring, 2 GM candidates that have come to the forefront, Ian Cunningham and Josh Williams of San Francisco. What do you feel like each one of them bring to the table as far as the GM and what they could bring to the Atlanta Falcons?
I'll start with Williams out in San Francisco. You look at the injuries that San Francisco team had this year, and the way they were able to move guys in, and really didn't seem like they skipped a beat, so they made the right moves, not only with their starters, but with the backups, the guys they had in place. And I think that's huge because you're going to have injuries in NFL. I don't think any
Yeah.
team's ever gone through a season and not lost a guy here or there.
Nope. Never happened.
It's going to happen. So your depth has to be good. You got to build good from the draft and in free agency. And I think they've done a really good job of that in San Francisco. Then you look at in Chicago, they've done some good things. Last year, they showed glimpses of being good. You go draft Caleb Williams, and last year people were wondering, man, is he really going to make it as an NFL quarterback? And this year, looked phenomenal. Those guys were really good. And then I think the thing is, one of Matt's good friends is the GM up there in Chicago.
Yeah.
So he's a guy that I think during this whole process, he was able to lean on him pretty heavy and ask him questions because Matt doesn't know everything, and he'll be the first to tell you on this side of football. On that field, you get in between the white lines, he knows everything, so
Absolutely.
he's going to have to lean on people. So it'll be interesting to see if he goes the Chicago route because he knows he's got somebody there that can help him through this process, or if you go out to San Francisco on a system that's been really successful. And that's a really important move because it's got to be somebody that they see eye to eye, him and Matt, and making
Absolutely.
those final decisions, and they got to be on the same page.
And another thing, they have a first-year GM in John Lynch some years back, so they know how to build, from the ground up. So John could probably give Matt, some pointers on how to build from the start. So
Yes,
I can get to San Francisco. So yeah, I get it. But go ahead, Chris. My bad.
No, it's fine. I was just going to say, and also just you look at it. I love what Matt is doing, and it's like he's playing the game within the game because it's not just who he's reaching out for interviews, it's where. We're talking about the 49ers. We talk about the Bears. We're talking about the Chiefs. We talk about the Steelers, the Texans. All those teams have something in common, either Super Bowls, playoff runs, winning games, changing their franchises. So I'm thinking about that and just Matt doing his due diligence. And I just think that people need to recognize that a little bit more too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're obviously not going to go hire a GM or an assistant GM from a team that's been terrible, and hadn't built the right parts and hadn't put the right guys out there on the field. And the guy in Texas is with the Texans has done a really good job too. D'Amico Ryans and that roster they put together. And I think you kind of see the framework this year in the NFL playoff. And I heard Matt say it the other day, defense still wins championships. You look at what Seattle has put out on the field, at what the Texans have put out on the field. It's it's fun to watch a defense that has that crowd behind them and an offense that can go back it up when that defense gets them a stop and go get points. And I think that's the type of team that the Atlanta Falcons can be this year.
Boom. There it is. Oh, boy.
Excellent
stuff. Oh, boy. I'm trying to process.
No, man. It's some exciting times, man. This the insight and the knowledge that you share with us, all of us, St. Todd, is just, you just can't put a price on it, man. Definitely priceless. So, and just the fact that you played with that organization and you still embody, just what it takes to be a Falcon, and you really, we can still tell that you care about this organization. Similar to
yeah, I do, man. And Mr. Blank knows, Matt knows that I'm at the time in life where I'd love to be a part of it. So I feel like I can be really beneficial to the organization. But if they call me and want me in any capacity, I'll be there in about. I think it takes an hour and a half to get there from Baton Rouge on a plane. But if they don't, if they go, I'm gonna be Falcons for life and support every decision they make. I'm excited about the future of this franchise, and it's easy you can say, yeah, we'd love to be in a Super Bowl next year. Could it happen? Yeah. Is that realistic? Probably not. But in 2 years, the Super Bowl is in Atlanta. How awesome would that be
That would
for
be
our
perfect.
Falcons to have a home game, man?
That would be perfect. Right on time.
Right
on
and
time.
And to win it too, but I'm talking about you couldn't write that any better.
Ooh, that city would be jumping, man.
Todd, you got a quick second to answer 2 questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
So y'all in the chat, y'all throw out your questions, man. I'm gonna pick 2 questions. Throw your questions out there. Please keep it respectful.
Mm-hmm.
And like Auntie Joy, the moderator, she said, "Thank you for the super chat. Truly appreciate it." Dream Mac and Chris Dotter. He said, "I'm not trading any picks. I'm going right after Malik Willis and let the chips fall where they may. I'm not waiting on pennies. We have to go for it. But the thing about Malik Willis, the way he played this year, his stock went up. So when his stock goes up, that price goes up. Mac Jones is on a 2-year, $8 million deal, which is now 4.2, I think, for next year. So if you trade him for a 3rd or 4th round pick, you can handle that with no problem. Because you got to remember, still got to pay Kirk Cousins, still got to pay Mike Penix. You bring in another quarterback, you still got to pay him, and you got to pay his backup.
Right.
So that's 4 quarterbacks.
Like you said, Malik Willis he's going to fetch a pretty good penny, especially because of the draft class of quarterbacks that are coming out from college this year. There's not a ton of quarterbacks that I think are elite. Now next year that quarterback class is going to be pretty strong. So it'll be, and San Francisco may not want to give up Mac Jones. They saw how valuable he was this year. But there'll be some other guys out there that'll be interesting, and I guarantee you, our head of football has already been looking at the possibilities if we decide to go in another direction. Because we know one thing we do know: Michael Penix isn't going to be ready.
We know
from the beginning. So you have to have somebody that can come in and go be the captain of the ship.
Absolutely.
If you don't think it's Kirk Cousins, and they might think it's Kirk. I don't know.
It could be. I'm keeping that option open because he's worked with Stefanski, so let's keep it real. Yeah. He knows the system.
We've all seen him play at a really high level under Stefanski, and he knows that system. So that wouldn't be the end of the world, and I think we could go win a lot of football games with Kurt as our quarterback.
And Joe Flacco, 41 years old, and he's still playing. So I mean,
still playing.
They don't need to call Phillip Rivers though. I tell you, I enjoy watching that when Phillip came back.
That was funny. It was enjoyable to watch. My guy, the truth say, given we're going to run the ball more, would you bring back Tyler to help get these offenses' identity back? And that's a tough question because, and shout out to his uncle, Tyler Edger's uncle. Yes. Uncle Lou always stopping in and joining us. But what's your thought on them trying to get Tyler Algier back? Because he's going to go on the money because he's a running back one on a lot of teams. So,
I agree with you, man. Every time Tyler touched the ball, it's like he had something to prove, and I understand that because, all you hear about is Bijan. Bijan's really good. But I love the way Tyler Algier runs the ball. It'd be huge if we could find a way and find a room or the money to be able to keep him because, it's a long season. And having that 1-2 punch was really good for the Falcons. I think, like you talked about, he's going to get a pretty good price tag. He's going to get some offers from other places. I think it's going to be hard to bring him back, but I would love to have him, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Dirty Bird game.
Five toughest or best defensive linemen you face.
Number one's easy for me. Chris Jenkins played with the Carolina Panthers. Chris was.
Oh boy, that dude was strong as an ox.
Yeah, 6'4", 6'5", 330 is what they had him listed as. I'm sure he was closer to 350, 360 at times, but quick as a cat, man. Another one early in my career was Leroy Glover, played with the Saints, played with the Rams.
Oh, yeah.
Leroy was undersized, but he was so quick and so powerful with his hands. And then John Randall was another one that I enjoyed playing against, talked a lot of trash, and he backed it up, and I'm talking to guys that I had to block. Kyle Williams was in Buffalo. Just a nose guard that just made you earn it every time you snap the ball. Warren Sapp, he played more of that 3 technique, but when it was 3rd down, that joker was coming after the quarterback, and he made a lot of guards lose sleep at night. And I know I'm leaving some guys out. Haloti Nada from Baltimore.
Jesus Christ, that dude.
He was a terror. That was
Hall
a
of Fame.
big man. That
got to be Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he was smart, and he would embarrass you quick if you weren't on your A game. I could sit here all night and talk about guys that we played against that were really good, but there's just some of them, and I know I left some guys out.
This is a question that I've been wanting to know for a while. You ever thought about getting into coaching?
Oh, absolutely. I've thought about it, and I was asked when I retired or before I retired if I wanted to get into coaching, if I wanted to get into scouting, front office. And at the time, it wasn't something that I wanted. My kids were young. I wanted to coach them coming up, baseball, football, basketball, and I was able to do that. Now my older 3 are, they're in college, gone. My youngest one's a senior. Coaching's in my blood. My daddy coached college basketball. It's all I know. I love it. I love being around it. Love is something that, gets my heart going. So I'm at the point in life where I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready to be involved in some aspect, If it's coaching, if it's scouting, I'm ready.
Somebody called you right now and say, man, we need you to come coach our offensive line. What you doing?
I'm going, but like the same thing. I got to learn that side of it. I got to learn that side of it. So I wouldn't want to be a head guy right now, because there's a lot that goes into it. The game planning and all. But as far as being an asset and teaching guys how to study film, and I'm a quick learner. It won't take me long. Techniques and watching film and taking care of your body, and there's a lot of things I could bring to the table to help some guys out, and I'm ready. Whether it's there in Atlanta, here at LSU, got 2 programs that I think are about to do some really good things, and it's time.
Ms. Pam want to know the name of your podcast. We know it, but could you please tell her the name of your podcast?
Yes, it's the Snapback with T-Mac. So y'all go check it out. We hadn't done a whole lot here lately because of I've been watching everything with Falcons, with LSU, and it's just been a lot going on with transfer portal, with getting guys signed here at LSU, and talking with all my former players with Atlanta, and just been a lot going on, and with my kids, some things going on. So. But go check it out. The Snapback with T-Mac. I'm gonna share this video after it's posted, and I maybe do something here in the next day or 2, just talking about both of them, LSU and Atlanta. Just give my insight on everything. But we've covered all the bases tonight with you guys, and I appreciate.
Oh yeah, facts. The only question I got left, Lane Kiffin. Give us quick thoughts.
Man, I tell you, he's a character. He's a guy that everybody's looking, half the country's hoping he falls on his face. And, I say probably 75% of the country's hoping he falls on his face. But down here at LSU, we got a lot of faith in him. He's a guy that knows offense. He knows how to put his guys in the right spot. Seems like they gave him an unlimited budget to go get the best players that he could go get, and he's gone out and done it. I always say it's about the Jimmies and Joes, not always about the X's and O's. You can have the best team in the world, but you got to have the guys that can go execute it. And when you put his knowledge of the offense and the players that they just went and got in the transfer portal, and he talked about it the other day, you can have the most talented roster, but you still got to find a way to, like we talked about earlier, make them cohesive and make them play together, because now those guys, it's like the minor leagues. Those guys are getting paid to play the game. It's like minor league baseball players, but they're making a lot more money than minor league baseball players. You still have to find a way to get them to play together, no matter how much talent you have.
Absolutely. Chris, you got another question before we get out of here?
No, man, that's really all I got. I mean, because some questions that I did have, Todd like answered it within it, and so it was just one of those things where no point asking it again. So I thank you, Todd McClure. Falcons Ring of Honor. It's one of the best offensive linemen that I have seen with my own two eyes, and I'm not just saying that because you're here. But
well, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man. But we really appreciate your knowledge and sharing it with not only just me and Smitty, but everyone who's watching. So thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to, come in and give your insight. That's the best thing I can say.
Yeah, man.
Absolute
I appreciate
facts.
you guys. I love, like I talked about, I'm Falcon for life, and the passion that I've seen from this fan base. They just want a product that they can go get behind. They want a team that, when they wake up on Monday morning after Sunday's games, that, they feel good. They can go in the office and talk some trash to other people. They just want a team to believe in. And I think Matt Ryan and the guys he's hired, they're going to go give us that.
Absolute facts. But Todd, as always, man, we truly appreciate you coming through. We know we had to reschedule, and we thank you for taking time out your busy schedule. As you said, I know you got your senior, so I know it's gonna be busy because I was going through that 5 years ago, so I know. And
right.
Trust me, it's not easy. But you almost kid free. Just put it like that. And
they always gonna come back though.
No doubt.
But they're gonna find their way back.
No doubt, absolutely. But again, man, could you give out your show information one more time before you get out of here, and then we'll close it out.
Yeah, the Snapback with T-Mac. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. Any place you can go find a podcast, we're on it. Go check us out, and hopefully I'll be off of social media here pretty soon. That means I may be up there in the ATL coaching a little football or helping out a little football. So if I disappear, y'all know where I'm at.
Right.
Hey, when you touch down in Atlanta again, man, just let me know.
All right, buddy. I hear you, man.
Thank you, Miss Carey. Appreciate you. Always great show. Shout out to me, the A1 and Mud Duck. Appreciate you. Chris, you know what to do, man. Tell everybody where to find you.
Hey, man, A1 Forever Sports. That's the platform on YouTube. Please come over, like, comment, subscribe, be a part of the A1 family. Also, catch me at the Hawks Digest, talking all things Atlanta Hawks as well. And make sure you guys find your peace today, because positive energy always creates elevation. And also Twitter, A1 Forever, Instagram, A1 Forever, and the real A1 Forever on TikTok. Again, Todd, thank you so much again. Always great having you on. Really, any Falcons legend. So shout out to John Abraham as well, another friend of the show. So we really appreciate you guys, again, taking out your time. Can't thank you enough. And really, man, let's go Falcons, and hope to talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all. Anytime, man. Y'all hit me up.
No doubt. But y'all know to find me at FatBoySlam_21 on Twitter. Also, keep following me on Smitty Sports Machine. As I just told y'all early in the show, just dropped a video on a trade that the Falcons should absolutely consider, which is Mac Jones. Y'all go check that out. Also, check out, I dropped by 3 today, so I've been running all day. But again, that's the life of a content creator. But again, I'm trying to keep y'all updated with the latest news. Again, thank y'all, chat. Thank y'all for the super chats. Thank our moderator, Miss Joyce, for keeping everything under control. So shout out to her, always helping us out. But again, another great show in the books. We're going to keep y'all posted, man. Y'all know we do the pop-up shows during the week. So if anything pops up, y'all know y'all going to be able to catch us on the live stream. But until then, we will holler at y'all later, man. Peace.
Rise.